Perfect timing. I just discovered a way to unseal the door over in the ancient coil. One thing we need to do is construct a special orb. Could I ask you to gather the materials we need for it? It might take some effort, but I think the results will be worth it. There's gotta be something good on the other side of that door. Wow, you made quick work of that task. You're a natural. Now we can get to making that orb.
Glad to be of assistance.
Take this and go to the sealed door. With luck, the orb's power should take effect and open it. Nicely done. This technology is something else. We still have a lot to learn.
Exquisite.
I heard about this thing called Unyielding on the news the other day. Is that something they eat on your home planet? It doesn't matter where they're from. I just want to get my hands on some. Please, help me out! It seems like their main ingredient is some kind of grain that's unique to that planet. Luckily, we here can digest it too. Wait! This is the one I saw in the database. Takoyaki! It's the flavor of grilled octocore organisms.
Glad to be of assistance.
Here goes. Whoa! What's going on? It's sour. No, it's got a really complex flavor. Oh, it's taking me straight to Flavor Town. Oh, I could get hooked on these babies. Good thing they don't have any risky ingredients in them. Please help. As you can see, I'm desperate for more Unyielding. You guys got any more of them tasty snacks? This time, though, I want the veggie salad flavor. Got it? It's a salad with no veggies. Wild. I'm counting on you. Okay, calm down. It's not a real salad. Salads have raw vegetables. This has salt. Oh yeah! This is the veggie salad of my dreams! I can't even imagine what it's going to taste like. Time to chow down.
Glad to be of assistance.
Whoa! Flavor explosion! So fresh, so novel. How is this so similar to the real thing? I don't understand it. We don't have anything that packs this much of a punch. I surrender to the flavor.
Oh, it's you. There's been a malfunction at the integration plant and communications are down. Looking at the logs, it seems like they lost control of the defense system. Can you help us deal with this? We successfully cut the defenses off from the other systems, and door control is online. They should all be open. You've saved the plant and the colony once again. Words truly cannot express the depth of my gratitude.
Glad to be of assistance.
Those of us who live in Peripeum are still in the middle of this chaos. Though it can be frustrating, we remain. Just knowing that there are people like you out there gives us the courage to keep going.
Details are thin on the ground right now, but the remnants of the invading force are holed up in Convenience Cavern. Could you help us clear out these stragglers? We need your help, now more than ever. We're working on gathering more information about the remaining forces. I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything.
Hostile spotted!
Prepare to engage where? Okay.
No quarter! The enemy falters! Insufficient output. No quarter! Victory is within reach! Warning. Energy levels low.
Please! That's what you get for messing with us!
Warning. Energy levels low. Insufficient items eliminated. Fight for strength lay dormant within me. Initiate emergency protocol. Warning. Energy levels low. Destroyed. Instruct neutralized.
Is everything prepared?
And make the feet! Destroyed.
I may be even more capable than you realize.
Levels low. Neutralized. Insufficient output. Warning. Energy levels low. Destroy. Neutralized. Initiate emergency protocol.
They want to fight?
Insufficient output. Threat detected ahead. Threat neutralized. Item obtained.
Stand back. We got this. To try. To try.
Perimeter secured.
confirmed kills on the expected number of enemies. Thank you for your help.
Glad to be of assistance.
We still don't know how much of a threat the invaders pose, but we know that they aren't all gone yet. Stay frosty. We would really appreciate your help once again. I hope you can lend a hand. There appear to be remaining invaders at an unaffiliated container, fighting multiple unknown life forms. If possible, we could really use your help. Apparently, the enemy has flying capabilities. The order has been given for us to pull back from the surrounding area. We'll leave the rest to you.
Prepare yourselves for battle! One will not pain! More than you deserve!
Initiate emergency protocols. Threat detected.
Now, the enemy is before us.
Roger that.
Victory will be ours.
For a second.
We always resist violence.
We appear to have lost them. Hostile spotted.
I suffer no
Prepare yourselves for battle.
Remain vigilant.
The victor go the spoils. Bleed! I must
Confirmed. Unknown life forms eliminated. Thank you for your assistance.
Glad to be of assistance.
You're a truly special group of people. Not just anyone could have taken down those life forms. But we can't get too dependent on your help. I'm working on analyzing more info about the invaders so we can make new plans.
Pardon us.
Welch, my word, what has happened?
Where did you come from? You know, it's been a while since you snuck up on me. What an awesome scavenger you are, coming here before I even call you. Ta-da! Check this out.
The ring? Could it possibly be...
Correctamundo! This is the other ring handed down throughout the Vineyard family! Finally, at long last, I have found it!
Wonderful. So that is what that peculiar laughter was about.
Congratulations. And where, pray tell, did you find it in the end?
This you're not gonna believe. It actually got passed along to the Vey'l Empire. No wonder I couldn't find it searching Osirius high and low. Normally, you'd think the ring would be hard to find after falling into the Empire's hands, right? But thanks to the big ol' snafu between Osirius and Vey'l recently, relations and trading between the two have been totally revamped. That's how I got my hands on it. And here I thought the big shot royals only cared about squeezing tax money out of hardworking folk. But this time, though, they've got my gratitude. I'm sure you feel the same, yeah? Naturally, I gotta extend my thanks to you, too. I'm on the verge of restoring the Vineyard family name. And it's all thanks to my personal scavenger here. You collected all the vital material I needed. As head of my family, I, Welch Vineyard, would like to reward you with my sincerest gratitude. Okay then, now that I'm in rightful possession of this ring again, I'm starting to think this house is too small for my big ambitions. I'm gonna build an enormous manor that befits this beautiful merchant magnate with genius-level smarts. Oh, nah, that won't cut it. What a lame, humdrum way of reviving our name. I'm gonna make the Vineyards the greatest family of merchants in the entire universe! Now that relations with the Empire are on the up and up, it's the perfect time for some commerce! And until we're the world's leading merchant family, I'll be making use of your services. As my scavenger... No, that's not right. To use an old term from Vineyard family history, you are my business partner. So let's get back to business, partner.
Remain ever aware. The Nihlbeth we once knew is no more.
I understand. Let us be off.
All right, so we bust in there, and then we figure out some way to stop Boldor, yeah?
Correct. I wish to investigate to confirm my suspicions.
Let us go then. Little Duma has not once led us astray.
Oh, hello, Laeticia. What an unlikely pair you make, if I do say so myself.
No, not as unlikely as you think.
That is true. To our surprise, we have something in common. Oh, really? What could that be?
How do I put this, Letty? Well, we both have illustrious relatives and are tied to the domain in which they excelled.
Illustrious relatives?
Yes, well, I have always stood in my father's shadow. And the same with Marielle and her heroic grandfather. Because a parent demonstrated prowess, we are burdened with unrealistic expectations, or treated as a means of connection.
Exactly right. And another thing, you also get blamed for things that aren't your fault.
So very true. And also, there are many in the Corps who desire anything that may belong to my father. They have some superstition that his triumphs as a general will bring them luck. I have received all manner of strange requests, such as a copy of a document with his signature on it.
Ah, you mean an autograph? Yes, I've had that too.
I could never refuse. At one point, I was even forced to bring home a stack of empty cards.
Oh? And how did that turn out?
Well, my grandfather enjoyed it, especially for the lady officers. He drew pictures and wrote with colored pens. My grandmother was too embarrassed to write almost anything, so she struggled with it.
Oh, you two seem to be enjoying yourselves, so I will let you be. What might you two be up to?
Your Highness.
Oh, hi, Laeticia. I was just chatting with Albert about what would make a better pet. A kitty or a bunny?
With Albert? You happen to be fond of cute animals?
To some small extent, I admit.
Some small extent, my foot. You were super excited talking about it just now.
That was merely because, Your Highness, if you would please ensure Raymond is not privy to this.
Anyway, kitties are the best. You can keep them indoors, they'll come over to play, and they're just so cute.
I say bunny. Together you can roam the earth. Imagine sleeping as you bury your face in so much fluffiness. Doing so is a magnificent dream.
Oh, both animals certainly have their good points.
Laeticia, which do you think makes a better pet? Of course, it has to be a kitty, right?
No, it must be a bunny, Your Highness.
As you are asking me, I would choose a kitty.
Yeah! Kitties rule! The way they purr is just so adorable!
They certainly are cute. You could lose all track of time when you are together.
But bunnies have a lovely voice too.
We have traveled in one another's company for quite some time now, yes?
Sure have. Back when we met in Larkus Weald, I never imagined we'd be hanging around each other this long.
It was near this very place where we first set off together, was it not? Seems ages ago now.
So, now that we know each other a little bit, mind if I ask what you thought of me when we first met?
Do you mean of first impressions? Well, perhaps... No. I believe I must ask you the same first.
Okay. How about we both answer at the same time?
Very well then. Ready? Go!
A royal pain in the butt!
A useful oaf!
A useful oaf, huh? I guess that's better than being a useless one.
Oh, I also seem to have made a less than favorable impression.
But you know what? Doesn't seem like either of our first impressions were off the mark.
I offer no argument. Yet, I have experienced a great many things through my travels with you, and
For that, I am truly grateful.
Yeah, same here. I know you got my back.
Let us brave what lies ahead together, much as we have with all that behind. Pardon us.
It was so amazing! Really, it was just incredible, Dr. Eason! Everything is so huge among the stars, it just hits you! And their light just zooms out everywhere! Altogether, it was like boom!
I see. It sounds like you had quite an experience.
Sure did! It was so much fun! Really, one huge wow!
How curious. Did you learn anything during your time up there, Nina?
Huh? Oh, yeah! Of course I did! Still, I must admit, most of it was kinda beyond my level of understanding. And I was mostly just overwhelmed all the time.
There's no shame in that. Knowledge gained from any observation will surely be of assistance to you, even if you do not fully understand it straight away.
Really? Okay then. I'll study the stars more and more, and try real hard till I'm totally cha-ching.
Yes, I'm expecting great things.
Excuse me, Maester Marcus. Are you able to understand, Nina? What might totally cha-ching mean?
Oh, that? Yes, I follow somehow.
That is quite impressive.
She oft acts like this once excitement takes hold. Been that way ever since she was young. It is an expression of her joy. Lady Laeticia, thank you for taking Nina along with you to visit a brand new world.
Nina's insight was of tremendous help. She is what propelled us to complete our journey. We should be the ones who are grateful.
I am overjoyed she was able to learn so much. It is truly wonderful. I am sure Filberto would be pleased as well.
What a strong and capable woman you have become.
Theo?
Apologies, merely airing my frank impressions. As a cousin, as a childhood friend, I am proud.
Praise too high, and it shall be nigh impossible for me to accept. What brought that on?
Well, I was struck by memories. I recall when you were but a small girl all those many years ago.
In my childhood?
No, not quite. I was referring to the Letty of yesteryear, still struggling with the onset of adulthood.
Since I was a child, you have always been present, ever capable and full of knowledge. As such, I came to rely on you, so much so that perhaps I matured bereft of self-confidence. Seeing my uselessness when relations with the Empire deteriorated, I felt despondent.
Thus you set out on the journey with Albie?
Yes. Perhaps I felt I had something to prove. Even then, I felt painfully aware of my own inadequacies.
But knowing it was something I chose of my own will, I forced my foot forward. And I encountered things I would never have seen if I remained in the palace.
To think the sea of stars would be one such thing. Who could have imagined that?
If, as you say, I have in fact become a strong and capable person, it is thanks to you, Albert, and Ray, and to countless others I have met on the course of my journey. Of that I am quite sure.
Being capable of spilling such words is proof enough of your growth and accomplishments.
Your praise of me is certainly incessant. What are you looking to say exactly?
Never you mind. I was merely convincing myself that I too must change, for I wish to remain one that you can look up to. The end of this conflict is approaching, most likely. Let us bear down just one last time.
Yes, indeed. Let us be off.
Have traveled all over the place, haven't we?
That is certainly true. I would never have imagined we would actually visit the stars.
Hey, Laeticia!
Yes? What is it?
We've been on this long adventure together, right? And I think we've gotten pretty tight by now. I'm wondering, when the others see just the two of us girls together, what kind of relationship do they think we have?
Our relationship together? Well, I would say... as sisters, perhaps.
Oh, sisters?
I considered other answers, as allies or a close friend. But when I think of how I want others to see us, sisters sounds nice. Would you object, Nina?
There's no way I would! But to think that people might mistake me for a royal in some ways, I don't think I'm worthy.
Oh, there is no need to overthink it. Ah, and whoever is the elder or the younger sister, it is fine with me. I wish I had both, in fact.
In that case, I guess I get to be the little sis.
Very well. I am the elder sister. Now, please call out to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Big sister Laeticia?
Yes, what is it?
That was a bit too real. My heart won't stop thumping.
My younger sister is quite adorable.
I don't think asking you would be much help, Ray.
What? My opinion's not good enough for you?
Is aught amiss?
Oh, hey Laeticia! Perfect timing! Can I ask you something?
Certainly. I will help best as I can.
Say you were going on a trip with someone. Like a guy. Just the two of you. Where would you go?
Only the two? Chloe, pray tell, do you have such plans?
No. No plans. Nothing set in stone or anything. It's just something I'm thinking about. I thought it might be kind of nice someday.
Oh, come on, get a hold of yourself.
Oh, pipe down. from Ray. So, Laeticia, where would you choose to go?
Relaxing in a familiar locale would be best for me.
Someplace familiar, huh?
The comfort it provides would make me feel as if I could be more sincere with my companion.
Oh my gosh, that makes total sense! I knew I should have asked you from the get-go instead. Thank you so much!
Instead? You didn't even give me a chance to answer.
Baird, must you always look so serious?
Yes, is that concerning?
Sometimes it makes you seem less stern and more than a trifle frightening.
Oh, is that so? My apologies. I was not aware.
I do think your seriousness is one of your virtues, but does it not exhaust you to oft behave so? It may do you no harm to be at ease from time to time.
Oh, such acts do not come to me naturally. What would one need to do?
Well... Albert, you have a sweet tooth, do you not?
What? I know not of what you speak.
How long do you believe we have known each other? Anyway, what say you try having a feast of sweets until your belly swells?
Oh, I see. That certainly is a tempting idea, but... No, I cannot. It would still be too difficult.
Difficult? I thought you liked your sugary treats.
Oh, I do. But it is perhaps embarrassing to be seen purchasing so many by myself.
Ah, then might I join you in doing so? Were we to go together, you need not be embarrassed buying a great amount.
What? No, I cannot.
What is the matter?
Thank you, Your Highness. The thought has started to fill me with excitement.
Laeticia, there is, in fact, something I must apologize for.
Oh, what do you mean, Elena?
After we succeeded in rescuing Chloe from Baldar, I once proposed to Ray that we should depart Aster 4. I told him we should not further involve ourselves in this planet's conflicts.
You mean... no. Your thinking was reasonable. Those problems were solely ours in the first place.
I am very sorry.
No, please. It was a natural suggestion, considering where you stood at that time.
You should know, Ray promptly dismissed my advice. He said, there was no way we would conclude our contract and turn our backs on you.
Huh. I see. Is that so? In any case, we clearly took advantage of his sense of obligation. So there is no need for you to apologize. Besides all of that, you are here with us now.
Yes, and I have no intention of leaving now. Ray and I have chosen to deeply involve and commit ourselves to these matters. Also,
we are friends, right?
Yes, I hold that in my heart.
You are here fighting alongside with us now. That fills me with nothing but gratitude, Elena.
Instead of rancor, I receive gratitude. Then, thank you. Most sincerely, Laeticia. And I'm even happier we'll keep working together into the future.
Likewise, Elena. Lady Malgia, how you always wear such lovely attire.
Well, you must have an eye for such things. I suppose I am rather fastidious in my dress. I have my own preferences, and I must not impair the grace and dignity expected of a leader.
Yes, I do think your clothing suits you well.
Ah, that it does. This attire was specially made to meet my specifications. By any chance, Princess Laeticia, would you like to try it on?
Me? You are asking me? Would that be acceptable? Truth be told, I was actually hoping I could a little.
Is that so? Then let us proceed. My clothes are simply the wrong size. I know. We will make a new outfit for you.
Really?
I, too, would love to see you don the traditional attire of the Trathan people. We will make something fit for a princess. I hope that excites you.
I graciously thank you. Although, I do have one small request.
Yes, whatever you need.
If possible, could it be a little less revealing?
Not a chance.
Oh!
This is how our traditional clothing is customarily worn. Anything too modest will not evoke the Trathan. Besides, surely you've seen worse in Osarius.
Oh! Is that right?
Indeed. The Crown Emperor and that boy will enjoy your first public unveiling.
I am in no way in a rush. Please, hear me.
So what should I do?
It is a rare sight to see you struggling with some decision, Elena. I am willing to lend an ear if that helps.
Oh, thank you. I was considering the Aldous' interior design and decoration. With Ray and Antonio being as they are, and indifferent to their surroundings, the Aldous looks too cold and bare.
Very true. There is not much in the way of decoration, to be sure.
Such a drab environment will surely affect the crew's morale as well. I wanted to add a touch of decoration to try to change the mood. But due to my lack of experience in such things, I couldn't decide what to buy.
I see. Well, in that case... How about decorating with flowers?
Yes, flowers do belong on the top of the list. They look bright and colorful, and Ray and Antonio will offer no opinion at all.
Yes, I believe that is true.
It is a good thing I asked you, Laeticia. Now I must find something suitable.
If such is the case, mayhap we could search together. I happen to have quite the knowledge on flowers.
Ah, thank you. Such a proposition is something I could never imagine coming from Ray or Antonio.
Phew. It's hot. Are you quite all right? You look rather uncomfortable.
I am not particularly good at dealing with the heat. This clothing normally regulates my body temperature according to how hot or cold it is outside. No maintenance has been performed on it for some time, so it's not working. Oh, it's hot.
Oh, well, in that case... Shall I go buy you a cold beverage?
Oh, thank you. But since I've been here, people passing by have been buying me lots of cold drinks. I think I drank too much. Ugh.
Oh, are you all right?
Should I stay cool or avoid getting too full? That is the question.
Oh, well, fancy meeting you two in front of this shop.
Oh, Laeticia! Guess what? Mario told me she's never actually bought anything at a shop like this before. So I thought we could have a look together.
Yes. Actually, I've never shopped at a store with a friend before.
Oh, I know! Why don't you come join us, Laeticia?
Oh, me? Would that be all right?
Of course! Right, Mario?
Yes, absolutely, if you want to, Laeticia.
Very well. Then I would be glad to accompany you.
I'm a little nervous.
There's no need for that. It's not scary. That was a blast!
I agree. Oh, would you believe how late it is?
I hadn't a clue that much time passed. What did you think, Mario?
I had a really nice time. Who would have thought? I had no idea shopping could be so much fun with someone to talk to. Nina, thank you so much for inviting me.
To be honest, this kind of experience was a first for me as well.
Are you serious?
Oh, I had such a lovely time shopping with you both. I hope we can go out again soon.
Yes, definitely.
Uh-huh. Next time, we'll make a solid plan and have fun together all day.
That sounds lovely. I see you both have had your fair share of merriment.
Not I. This one's been drinking for us both.
What was that? Finished already, are you? We've only just begun.
See?
I'm not drunk. I'm completely fine.
You're as sauced up as I've ever seen you. What drove you to drink like this?
You really don't know. That's your problem, isn't it? So, Princess Laeticia, what do you think? Why Why am I drinking here like this?
Me? Oh, well, perhaps. Because Maester Midas is in your company?
Precisely.
What nonsense.
And the reason I can get so drunk is that I know Midas here will take good care of me.
You are well and truly fuddled.
You must be well trusted, Maester Midas.
More like I am being imposed upon.
Yes, yes, yes. You should feel honored that I trust you enough to impose on you.
I swear.
Cousin Theo, what might you be doing here?
Letty! Nothing in particular.
Did something draw your attention? Is someone there, perhaps?
No, wait! There is no one!
Oh?
Just when this kingdom had finally settled down, here comes another commotion.
I hear that Princess Laeticia has been all over the country, putting an end to this mess. Oh, what a fine young woman she is.
But did you hear? There's rumors she's being accompanied by Commander Theo.
Oh, good heavens! Say it isn't so! He betrayed the king and Laeticia and sided with the Vey'l Empire.
He sure did. Oh, I just hope he's not thinking up another scheme at her expense.
I don't understand. Why has he been released in the first place? He betrayed the crown and disgraced the knights, didn't he? I've seen folks executed for less, you know?
Ain't that the truth? He's a scary one, that Theo.
I shall go explain what truly happened.
No, Letty, stop. I brought these circumstances upon myself, and so I must accept them.
Even so.
Let them say what they will. Those not present at that time cannot be expected to understand the truth of what happened. And what they are saying, their words are not mistaken.
Then you will forever be the subject of such gossip.
Any attempt to enlighten them about those events would only be met with deaf ears. At best, it would replace one rumor for another.
But then what of your reputation, Cousin Theo?
As long as we restore this kingdom's future, I could not care less what people think, especially if what they think happens to be the truth. Scrambling to protect my honor with favorable reports and half-truths would only complicate matters more. I say, let the truth be known.
Cousin Theo. Very well. At the very least, I will promise to hold your feelings in mind. Until the day comes when every citizen believes in you once again, I shall not forget.
Thank you. Your words alone are all I need.
What a magnificent garden. Every corner has been so well attended to. Just looking at it makes me feel so relaxed.
What a coincidence. This happens to be my favorite spot within the palace grounds.
Is that right? I find these small flowers especially charming.
Thank you kindly. Actually, I grew those flowers myself, you know.
You grew them? I don't know a lot about royalty, but isn't it unusual for a royal to do things like that themselves?
Well, I oft spent time playing in this garden since I was a child. I would come here daily. Soon, I became interested to try my hand at growing my own flowers. And so, I learned. little by little, with my father's permission, of course.
Huh. And now you can grow pretty flowers like these. That's wonderful. I could never do that.
I would be glad to give you one, if you like.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course.
Oh. But I'm not permitted to transport flowers off this planet.
Oh, because of the Underdeveloped Planet Preservation Pact, is that right?
I'm sorry. Under the right circumstances, it might be possible to transport it, provided I follow the proper procedures, but that'll take a long time, and it's still not guaranteed.
Well, should that day come, then the flowers I planted will be the first to leave this planet, correct? What a curious feeling.
The beauty of flowers is universal. Someday in the future, I would very much like to see Princess Laeticia's flowers growing from the soil of another planet.
Once this battle comes to an end, we all shall go our separate ways.
We sure have spent a lot of quality time together. But what can you do? Everything comes to an end eventually.
This I know, yet I cannot help lament the fact.
Well, it's not like we'll be saying goodbye forever. I'm sure we'll see each other again, right?
I hope so. Aha! Ray, once we have parted ways, I shall write you a letter.
A letter? You know, if you want to keep in touch, you don't have to go to all that trouble. You can just use the comms device.
Nay, we may communicate via these devices, yes, but I should very much like to gift you proof of our correspondence. Was it not you who said that there are yet those who enjoy the feel of something real in their hands?
Oh yeah, I did say something like that, didn't I?
I can say now that I finally grasped this concept. Precisely because there are countless methods to communicate easily, taking pen in hand and committing thoughts and feelings to paper creates something that can be cherished. I vowed to write you a plethora of letters, Ray, and so too shall I request your services for portage.
Hold up. You want me to transport something that's addressed to me? How does that make any sense?
Forsooth. Ray will ensure it arrives safe and sound.
Oh, okay then. I guess so long as I take responsibility for it, I'll have to deliver it to me.
Splendid. I certainly hope you will enjoy my letters, Ray. Moreover, I trust you will reply, yes?
For sure. And I'll do you one better. I'll write you back and deliver it myself.
Very good. A promise it is. What, pray tell, are the both of you doing here?
Ah, Letty has graced us with her presence. Come, look at the scratches on this pillar.
Theo and I were observing this. How it brings me back.
Ah, these are height markings, yes? From when we used to compare our heights together when we were children.
Correct. How long ago was it? We three used to almost scrabble atop each other, scratching our heights, frantic to grow taller than the other.
It is hard and humbling to believe that We were all once so small.
But the markings seem to end rather abruptly. I wonder why we stopped.
Come now. Do you not recall?
Me? Your words seem to suggest it was somehow my doing?
It was, Your Highness. One day, you became frustrated by your lack of progress and declared it most unfair that Theo and I had been growing faster.
Oh, did I truly say such a thing?
You were but a child. It is most understandable.
Although it took us quite an effort to get you in good humor again.
Oh, even at such an age, I should have been ever so slightly more mature.
I heartedly agree. So, tell me, have you matured?
Well, Her Highness's strong spirit certainly endures. In a good way.
Do you mind, both of you? Pardon us.
Well met, Letty. Care for a drink?
I have not yet reached the proper drinking age.
Oh, you don't say. Why come to the tavern then?
Cousin Theo, do you still recall your first ever drink?
That I do. It was the day Father recognized me as an adult. I could hardly forget.
With Lord Uncle?
It was my birthday. We shared drinks long into the night. Father appeared to have been eagerly anticipating that day. As I remember, he looked particularly happy. He said, "I have long set aside a special brew just for this occasion." In truth, I was certainly too young to know the pleasures of drinking. And so I cannot really recall the flavor of that brew, which I suppose was something highly magnificent. However, I shall always remember Father's expression on that day.
To think that drinking can leave such deep and profound memories within oneself. When the time comes for my first drink... How I would love if you and Albert would join me.
Very well then. Albie will be pleased, no doubt. I have a notion that Albie will be a different person once he discovers a good drink. That man, he is surely one to quickly turn silly.
I could certainly imagine.
Or he may well be a weepy drinker. Oh, the anticipation is becoming hard to bear. Come, hurry now and get older.
Oh, Cousin Theo, look who is well in his cups.
Laeticia.
Yes, what is it?
I have been undertaking some special training in secret. May I ask you to take a look at the results?
What could it be? I will help if I can.
Thank you very much. Please watch then, as I try my impression.
An impression?
I have striven to learn much about humans through observation and analysis. I would like to impersonate someone now, so that you can measure my progress. May I ask you to try and guess as to who I am impersonating?
That is what you wanted? Oh, very well.
Then, I will start. Now, Princess Laeticia, aren't you working too hard? A sense of responsibility is important, but ensure that you do take better care of yourself.
That would have to be Lady Malkia.
That is correct. You did well to guess that.
No, your impression was quite skillful.
I must closely observe the prominent figures of other nations, current and past, to prepare for when I succeed my father.
Oh, wait, that is me.
Perhaps I shall consult with Albert and Cousin Theo.
I never speak as such.
Theo, are there any special tactics you use when coordinating your men?
No, special tactics, you say? Wait, why do you ask me?
I heard you have had a long career and are idolized by your subordinates.
I see. Well, I cannot tell you if my experience in the Australian Navy applies to the logic of outer space. But in terms of what I think is important, one needs to display confidence, I imagine.
I see. I seem to lack that the most.
I as well. I don't necessarily have confidence per se. I merely put on appropriate airs.
Huh?
Should you lack confidence, simply give off the appearance that you are strong and most assured. If you display a commanding presence, most things tend to fall into place.
It's just for appearance. Is that really good enough?
It is perfectly fine. We all have our share of self-doubt. The point is, you must never allow that display to crumble in front of your men. If an officer is insecure, that insecurity may well be passed on to their subordinates.
I see. I have definitely plagued my crew with uncertainty.
Worry not. I too made the same initial error. When you are young, no amount of swagger will make you look reliable. Of course, it is an absolute must that you combat your anxiety through full preparation and endeavor. But if you can at least act confident, eventually you will forget that it's an act. Thus, true confidence is born.
Thank you. I think I understand a little more about what confidence really is.
Build confidence gradually, and strength will follow. That strength will then bestow yet more confidence upon you. Now then, go stand before Letty and show her how confident you are. Come now. It's times like these you need to show off your acting ability.
How could I possibly show acting ability so soon? I've only just learned this.
Cousin Theo, do not tease Mario so. Please do not mind him one bit, Mario.
I just don't have it.
I cannot believe the day has come when I now stroll through the grounds of the Vey'l Empire. Speaking truthfully, never did I think that I would set foot here. At least, not without one of the nations falling.
I concur. It certainly is difficult to imagine that we would be able to stand here amid the capital in a time of peace and not war. For now, it is only we who are visiting the Empire like this. But I sincerely hope that all people of both nations will eventually be able to come and go without the fetters of conflict.
Indeed.
For that to come to fruition, we must put an end to this struggle. And thereupon, even more will yet need to be accomplished. Though appearances may suggest we have bridged the gap between nations, deep-rooted maladies remain uncured. Albert, until the kingdom of Osirius and the Vey'l Empire can truly ally with each other, we must continue our efforts.
I follow your will. I shall do everything to ensure your wish of seeing both nations prosper comes true.
So I hear the Folga is being used by the Empire.
Yes, it is being used to transport the wounded and distribute supplies. Thanks to the Folga, it appears that everything is progressing well despite the circumstances.
Good. Then it is being put to good use for now.
Perhaps this may be the first step in making the world see the Folga as more than a mere weapon.
Impossible to know from the chaos we are currently in.
Tomorrow may seem a world away, but when peace is finally restored, I promise I will ensure the Folga be used as was intended. I believe that is my duty as the one who released the Folga into the world.
Nonsense. That responsibility is mine, since mine are the hands which built her.
Maester Midas.
But I will thank you for feeling such, all the same.
Of course. And to usher in this bright future for the Folga, we must strive now to end this fight.
I once thought fighting for peace a silly idea. But if that is our goal, perhaps not. Let us go put an end to this.
Indeed. Oh, Emperor Gerard. What might you be doing here?
Oh, Princess Laeticia. Today is the anniversary of my mother's death. I was praying.
Oh, then may I, too, say a prayer on Tatiana's behalf?
Yes, you may. I am sure it will please her.
I must deeply apologize, Your Grace.
Whatever could you possibly mean?
I have heard that Tatiana died 15 years ago during an outbreak of Helgar's disease. If only my country had not refused to send semiomancers to the Empire at that time, surely...
Please refrain from such words, Princess Laeticia. If you wish to apologize on behalf of Osarius, do so before our people, not I. If you do wish to personally apologize to me, know that there is no need. You were merely a child at the time, without authority to decide on such matters. You bear no blame. My parents were fully aware that the people of Osarius were also suffering from the same illness. In my current role, I understand all the more. The burden of King Osarius' decision not to dispatch semiomancers to the Vey'l Empire. The fear of war erupting from collapsing relations between allies or the spread of Rout in his own country. I respect that he weighed both possibilities and found the strength to make a resolute decision.
I beg your pardon. Please allow me to withdraw what I said earlier. How thoughtless it was of me to apologize when I am only doing so to escape my own guilt. I truly have much to learn. It would appear I lack the qualities expected of a ruler, such as you or your father.
Hardly the case. My mother oft said, "We all strive desperately to protect the ones we love." That desire may bring conflict, but it may also drive us to cooperate with one another. You sought Nihlbeth's aid, served as a bridge between kingdom and empire, and extended your hand to the Vey'rians. You brought this world together.
Emperor Gerard.
I have heard about Father. I cannot feign to understand what caused his actions, but I know for certain that is no means of evolution. I see the truth in this world you forge, one free from strife. Please, you must stop him. And inform him that even amid current circumstances, we can realize a peaceful and warless world.
As you wish, Emperor Gerard. Until we meet again.
Laeticia, I was just asking Marielle about what schools they have up among the stars.
Nina, are you thinking of conducting your studies in space?
Well, I don't really know yet. But it might be a good chance for me. I was thinking it would be an interesting path to take.
So then, let's say your future is in space, and you want to join a Federation school. That could be a tricky proposition.
What? How come? I'll work hard and study like crazy.
No, sorry, that's not what I meant. The issue is, we don't really know how the Federation will consider Astrophore from here on.
That is in regard to the Underdeveloped Planet Preservation Pact, I assume?
Yes, unfortunately.
Then, you mean, there's no way that I can study up among the stars?
Actually, there is a precedent.
A precedent? You mean there was someone like me who went to the stars?
Yes, that's right. It was someone from an underdeveloped planet who conducted great research and made their mark on Federation history.
What a remarkable person! That's so amazing!
I can't affirm anything at this point in time, but please don't lose hope, Nina. Know that I will support you wholeheartedly when it comes to it.
Oh, thank you very much! Okay, now I'm bursting with motivation!
That is good to hear, Nina.
Oh, Laeticia, do you need Antonio for something too?
I do. However, I hear the sound of a voice. Mayhap he has a visitor.
A voice?
Please excuse me for dropping in on you unannounced.
No, it's fine. I know it's hard to talk about these things in front of everyone else.
A matter difficult to discuss in public? What could it be?
Antonio, sorry to interrupt. The data that you asked me to expedite is complete, compiled, and ready for you to review. Is this a bad time?
Oh, Chloe. And Laeticia, too.
So, the voice we heard belonged to you, Marielle?
Yes. Antonio has a lot of experience as a captain, so I came to ask him how best to prepare. I didn't want to ask him in front of Sayuri and the others.
The Lawrence family ships are civilian ships, you know. Antonio doesn't think like the captain of some scary battleship. Besides, why ask Antonio in the first place? Why not Ray?
Well, of course I asked Captain Raymond, but he told me that everyone has their own way of thinking about these things.
So that is why you have come to ask Antonio, I presume.
Regardless, you didn't have to come to his private quarters.
Anyway, Chloe, you came to discuss that thing you emailed me about earlier, yes?
Correct. I already prepared the data you asked for, and I attached it to the email I sent. I found some flaws in the reference data that you gave me, so I wanted to confirm whether we should use it as is or not. I went ahead and summarized the incorrect portions in the attached file.
Well done. It looks like the stats at headquarters have some errors. I'd like to have their say in this. Sorry to add to your workload, but could I ask you to rework this with the revised data?
I thought you'd ask that, so I've already taken the liberty of uploading the correct version to my personal folder. I also added the differential information due to the revision, so you can review that too.
Outstanding as always, Chloe.
Outstanding? No. All I did was put together the data that I thought you might want, after all.
You see, Marielle, a captain is only as good as their crew. My crew knows how I think, and they always make sure I have exactly what I need when I need it. Just like Chloe here. You can't just become a captain. No one can. It's the trust of your crew. Sayuri, Pike, Kasim, and the others. That's what makes you a captain. So I reckon a good start would be opening up to them about these feelings of doubt you've been having.
Thank you, Antonio. I've kept all my concerns hidden away for fear of making them feel uneasy. I thought that was for the best, but I may have actually made them more anxious by putting up my guard.
If your subordinates know what you're thinking, then they'll be able to adjust their actions accordingly. Here, Marielle, take a look at Chloe's data.
It's highlighted in places.
Chloe, why are there highlights here? They're not on any of the internal templates, right?
You were always interested in those particular values, so I thought it'd be better if they were, easier to spot. Wait, is that a problem? If you turn off the display on the right, it'll make them disappear.
Such attentiveness without the need for direct orders. It is as though you are of one mind.
Of one mind? Laeticia? Oh my gosh!
What's someone as exceptionally brilliant as you doing not working for me? Don't you feel the same, Chloe?
send you the corrected data then. Bye!
It seems a captain must also master the art of winning people over.
Not sure I've done that myself.
I have a tough road ahead of me, don't I?
Ray, you've been blowing off Dad's emails again, haven't you?
What's the big deal? We'll be home soon anyways.
It's not that simple, little bro. When you don't respond, he contacts me.
What is the matter? Must you two quarrel so?
Get a load of this, Laeticia. Ray here keeps ignoring emails from our dad, checking up on him to make sure he's safe.
I wasn't ignoring him. I've been busy, so I'll get back to him later. Besides, the Aldous' data is already shared with him, so your safety verification reasoning doesn't stand up.
Then surely that must mean your father is contacting Ray out of concern, but Ray is choosing to ignore him. Nail on the head. Laeticia, give him an earful for me, would you?
The proper thing would be to reply after receiving a message. Is there a reason you prefer not to?
Hey, it's not like I'm ignoring everything. I answer all messages related to work on time. But personal messages are another story. Communicating so regularly is not always a good thing.
Oh, for crying out loud. That's what your deal is. Why didn't you just say so?
What do you mean?
My bad, Laeticia. Mr. Conscientious here is worried about others giving Dad a hard time if the two of them act too buddy-buddy.
Since when is being friendly an issue?
Think about it this way. A father who runs a huge company makes his son, barely out of diapers, captain of one of their ships. Anyone with half a head on their shoulders can take one look at the kid and know he's got the skills for the job. But to an outsider, it might look like he's getting preferential treatment. Just good old-fashioned nepotism. That's why Ray here is trying to be a big boy and communicate with our dad like he's any other guy, not his father.
You are way off. He's constantly harping on me because he has no faith in my skills. And I'm not clinging to this company anyways. When I get the funds, I'm striking out on my own. You watch, Ant. I'm gonna make a company that dwarfs Lawrence Logistics in size.
A competitor, huh? That'll be something to look forward to. This is the first time I've met someone who really gets it.
Here, here. I as well.
When this business is all wrapped up, be prepared to talk all night over some drinks.
Splendid idea. I shall bring over a special spirit I have hidden in my quarters.
Cousin Vey'l, how long have you and Antonio been such friends?
Time is not a necessity to bond with another.
Yeah, we just have one thing in common. But that's enough to understand each other.
Thing in common?
Oh, yeah. I never thought I'd meet someone who's really on the same page as me. The Big Brother's agony.
The Big Brother's agony?
Naturally, it's well beyond Letty.
It's of no use, Theo. Only people like you and me, born under an unlucky sky, can understand.
What in the world do you mean?
The existence of a little brother is thoroughly unfair.
Here, here. They witness the failures of their elder brothers, then proceed to conduct themselves skillfully and perfectly.
I hardly think that can be true.
Do you not remember, Letty? When I tripped hopelessly over my own cloak directly in front of the king.
Oh, that actually happened?
Damn, you do not recall. At the time, I would have been 15, you 6, and Albie 7. The king presented Albie and myself with new cloaks. To mark the occasion, we decided to wear them to a royal banquet, hoping to don them before the king. What an embarrassment! I stepped on my cloak in front of His Majesty and toppled over. But I could hardly complain. It was my mistake. But Albie, that jerk, as soon as he saw me fall, he concealed his own cloak under a table. Thereafter, when the king asked why he was not wearing his cloak, he replied, "It is such a nice present. I must learn how to wear it before I show you." The court peppered me with, "He must be worried he'll fall over like Theo." I became a laughing stock.
You didn't put anything in there, did you? I'm sure Albert must have been petrified too. Afraid he would fall himself.
Nope, those rotten little brothers will always use us like stepping stones. It's just like when I bombed a test and hid it, but my dad found it. If you get a bad score, you can always study harder to improve it. But you're in deep shit for hiding your failures from me. Yeah, and after Ray saw how angry my dad had gotten, Ray, that bastard, he brought out a test he'd been hiding for days, like he just got it back that day. Then my dad got even more pissed at me, saying, "You better become more honest, just like Ray." Ray just stood there smiling. And that's not even the start. Back when I entered the academy.
Sure that's really
That's
coffee?
enough! I think we best drink the day away. I'm here to listen to all your stories, Antonio. Where is the liquor aboard this ship?
Yeah, we have an endless supply using the replicator. And I'll lend you my ears as well, Theo.
It's settled then! We're gonna drink till the sun comes up, wherever the sun is!
Yeah.
You two, be careful not to overindulge. Oh, they are already gone. It is nice to see them getting on well, I suppose.
All the knowledge in these facilities is near infinite. I feel like you could spend a whole lifetime learning here.
Yes, truly. I find the scope of the Scorpium's history intimidating.
Kinda feels like the motherlode of all history. Osarius keeps its own records, doesn't it?
Most certainly. We employ historical record keepers, though not to this degree.
Fergold and the Federation don't have anything like this. With all the craziness that's been going on with Osarius in recent years, it must be a real handful to keep up with everything changing. I feel bad for future historians. How are they gonna make heads or tails of any of it?
Quite. Nay, now may be a prime opportunity.
Oh? Did you think of something good?
Yes, I shall seize this chance and propose that we piece together all of our grand histories. And not solely the history of Osarius, but of the Vey'l Empire and beyond. That will ensure our guests from the cosmos instantly comprehend our past when they grace us with another visit.
That's the spirit. For your future and all its people, let's put an end to this threat together.
Let us make history.
What shall I do? No, wait. I cannot let such an opportunity pass. The torment. To buy or not to buy.
What are you doing?
Your Highness!
Oh, why must you be so surprised?
No particular reason. None whatsoever.
You lie. There is some item that you covet, and you were pondering whether to purchase. That much is plain to see. To see your calm disposition so broken, what splendorous object would do as such?
Ooh.
Ooh?
Oh, my bow. They seem to be a type of candy.
Ooh, my bow? Oh, I do remember overhearing some of the crew mention them aboard the Aldous.
The vendors here sell them. It seems that there are an extraordinary number of flavors, and among them, there are a few that I find myself helplessly curious about. There are the sugar rusk, chocolate, and natto varieties.
Heavens! Then out of those three... I say choose chocolate. You do have quite the sweet tooth after all.
How did you...
You need not deny it, Albert. Though I am unfamiliar with these umaibo, as you call them, but the thought of space chocolate is most intriguing.
Correct you are. Then I shall make my purchase right away. It was slightly chewy and sophisticatedly sweet. To think that the chocolates that exist in the world of stars is this different from those back home. Would you like to try one, Your Highness?
Certainly. No time like the present, as they say.
As it were, I am quite satisfied with my purchase. Thank you for the encouragement.